they can't read it, but simply because it some of the variations go on like 40, 45 moves, and yeah, exactly, it makes the game very, very boring. It literally solves a quarter of the board, and so it's like, well, geez, why am I even playing Go? I mean, I could just sleep and play the moves, once you have them memorized. So there's all sorts of really, really, really complicated things that can happen now. Especially, this is the usual startup, and there's all sorts of insane things that go on here, and there's trick plays all along the way. I've actually seen 2-hour lectures that are just on the large avalanche because there's just so much potential evil. If you're ever in this situation and you just want to keep it really, really, really simple as white, the simple way for white to play is just do this. And locally, you could say it's very slightly better for black. But if white wants to avoid, evil complications, this is the way to do it. Right, right. Black already had a stone to begin with. So, but what's much more common is the small avalanche, and it's very useful to know the variants for this one. So this one really has only I won't say one variant, but it basically has one variation that is 9 out of 10 times the only move. Any ideas what White's move is?
Small?
Take a guess. Mm. So cutting is the right idea, but it's the other cut. This one. Mm-hmm. So then black descends, and now white has a really cool move. He does R18. And this is now threatening to play S15 and also play O17. White's threatening to play both at the same time. So black, to stop this, black has to go like this. And this stops white from immediately playing this move. Because if white does that, black has a really nifty ladder. So white actually has a very clever move here, which is this. And what happens now if, let's say, for the sake of argument, black just, defends here, black's going to get himself killed, right? So, right. Oh, someone's ringing. So black will go here. And now this is the part that gets people mixed up. White cannot play Q15 now. This is a very, very bad move for white. Because black goes here now. And this creates a lot of problems for white. White can't cut because his liberties are too short. So what white actually has to do here is cut right now. And then black can take that stone. But now white can resist. Black plays up like this, and it's not a ko. Always remember, this is not a ko, because if white does this, black does move. Very, very evil. Yeah. So at this point, white has to play like this, and then black captures, and then white captures, and it's a really cool massive thickness trade. Yeah, it's a fairly even variant, and it really depends what's going on the board. Can black develop a right side position? Can white develop a top side position? Whether or not you want to play this or not. No, no, no. Any questions are good. Key 17. Oh, yes. Mm, yes. Well, this move is a move that black takes usually when black wants a big corner. And you will get a big corner this way. But, the exchange you're giving for this large corner is you're offering white the ability to get influence on either side. So you should only, once again, you should only play this when you've carefully determined that if he gets thickness on either side, it's not going to be amazing. And so, yeah, that's the most important consideration when playing this move, though. Absolutely. Well, so if you have a stone here, then you can do a number of things. This is actually still a fine move, because if we just play a very, very basic variation, Something along this or this, both possible. And this is fair for black because d16 isn't exactly weak, so white hasn't developed a massive position along the top. And if black really wants, he could say continue on like this. Now, there's some actually interesting complications if you want to get a little bit more tricky. So at this point, in this particular position, white can actually change up the move order and play f17. And if black defends, now white plays here. And now black needs to come back and jump. And then suddenly, white has made f17 work beautifully. And this isn't necessarily horrible for black. I mean, black is, no one can say that black is horribly off. I mean, black got a big corner in the top right and a fair corner in the top left. So no one can say that black is horribly off. But, white has developed, we could say, a comfortable position on the top. Yes, that's the standard move. This is actually a really interesting, I guess you'd call it a mid-game Joseki to know, because it happens all the time. Literally, just all the time it happens. So white has a number of responses, depending on what's going on the board. The most common ones are like, there are more, but these four, I suppose, are the most common, with A and D being among these the most common by far. So this is probably the one you'll see most often on KGS, and a very big mistake that you will see players do on KGS is play G16. It looks like such a nice move, but it is really just an awful move that you should never, ever, ever play in your games. The problem is that the usual idea for black is black will do this and then go like this and say, haha, I've made life. But white has a really vicious move here. Any ideas? White has a vicious move. 15 is solid, but the problem is black will just do this. And now O17 is crying. Yeah, black. Oh no, can't quite do that. So maybe even just this. And white's 3 stones aren't particularly thrilled with this turning of events. So white actually has a more aggressive choice, which is a little tough to see. It's L17. And it looks difficult, but if black attempts to capture the stone, he fails miserably. Yeah, white wins 3 liberties to 2. So black has no choice but to play this way. Yeah, it's really gross. And then the best black can do now is this, and make ko for himself. And this is literally the best result that black can hope for, which is not a good result. So yeah, delete G16 from ever playing. Black has literally 2 choices here: the wedge and the extend. Now the wedge is considered the stronger move, but you have to read out your ladders first. What you want white to do is you want white to play here. This would be ideal for black. But sometimes, white's not going to follow along. White's going to do this and try and counterattack. And so black extends, and now you have 2 ladders. Oh, someone else joining? Oh. Okay, so now black has 2 interesting ladders. White can defend his stone here, and black has to check to make sure his ladder works here. If black's ladder does work, then this is a very good result for black, because white has essentially lost a few points, and black has gained himself, basically a new wall. So that's very favorable for black. Same type of thing with the other situation. White can capture that stone, and then black cuts there. And once again, check the ladder. If the ladder works, black is satisfied. If the ladder doesn't work, so sure, white can connect underneath, but, congratulations for white. I mean, white hasn't gained anything compared to what he had originally, and black has got himself, a free thickness. Well, black needs to check the ladders. Yes, if the ladders don't work, then it's just bad for black. Because, at this point, we get here, and then black goes here, and then white just goes here. Yeah, it's useful to keep in mind. I mean, if the letters aren't good for you, you can just play this, and it's not that much worse for you. But it's slightly worse. So the difference is, let's say black goes here and white fills, and then we compare it to this, and then if we compare our two results to one another, white has two additional cutting points. So this makes white's shape a little weaker. So that's definitely something worth noting, though. So extends. Mm. Right. So black can live inside in there, but not I guess not amazingly large, but black can make life. The basic idea for black is if black wants just to do this, and if white attempts to descend, black can do this. And if white attempts to seal, black has this very lovely empty triangle for the win. If white attempts this move, black has to resist like this. And white can be very aggressive with a double hane, but black can still just manage to capture white stones. Yep. So then if white connects back up, black just connects under, and white usually takes that. And black still has some corner aji because of these cutting points. So if black wants to eliminate all the corner aji, this is the proper move. But black can also consider tanukiing. So this is the basic variant for doing this. And, once again, I mean, you are giving white, a fairly nice wall. And so it's a perfect wall. So the question is, can white use his wall? And that's a difficult question. So, very, very game dependent. Right. Yeah. So with this variation, there's two things that white can do here. This is the simple one, and this looks pretty simple, pretty similar to the other one, but the main difference being that black can live slightly larger when he plays this way. Wait, dude, just wait. Wait. Yeah. So black actually does this first. Move order is important. So black needs to do this way first, because if white attempts to counterattack, black can cut through like this. And then do that. Right. So black can counterattack. So subtle thing. But this forces white to play like this. Then black plays out there. And then pulls back there. And white can damage black's corner. But so black's corner is damaged. And white has stolen black's... or black has stolen white's top. And there's still two cutting points here to consider. And black stones aren't exactly super strong here. So it's an exchange. And, once again, as all Josekis, it depends on what's going on the whole board. Whether or not this is good enough for you as black. Yeah. Uh-huh. Which one? Oh, okay. So, where were we? No, that wasn't it. Oh, damn, I lost the variant in the crazy tree. I think I found it. Yes, perfect. Okay, so back to here, right. So we just talked about this one. So the other variant that white can do is this one. This is more of a trade. And black will do this, and then white will usually connect up here, and now black actually owes another move. This is an important extra move, because without it, the corner is still open. The 3/3 can still be invaded, which means that black doesn't have any solid territory. So this solidifies the corner. And so you're giving up a big corner, and you're getting thickness from it. And like every single other variant, it all depends, can you use your thickness? No, not here actually. Black has a very, very aggressive move that he can play. Actually, E18 is the move rather than the more normal this move, which can make a ko. The reason being is that if white attempts something like this, black can respond like this. Because this move, black isn't scared of. Black just plays here. And then, yeah, black can manage to kill him. Yeah, so it's a very aggressive attack. And you can only do it, of course, when you're very, very, very strong in the area. So it's very situation dependent move. But yeah, if both players play perfect go, white should never be able to live or make ko in this corner. So yeah, those are the basic variants for that one. Mm, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, so this is a particularly interesting one. Mm, let's see this. So with this one, if if black responds like this, now the idea for white is to consider this, and black could start a ko here if he wanted, but assuming that black decides to just play defensively and plays like this, now white can consider a very aggressive move, and notice the role that E16 is playing. It's stopping black from playing a normal move like this to escape. And now what you have is a very, very complicated fight for who can win, who can live, and there's another ko that may come up, and very, very, very complicated. Who wins with that kind of move? So that's a more advanced move. The other move that you really need to consider is this one, and this is if you can't really make a lot with huge thickness, and you just want corner life period. And so this will end up pretty standard as far as corner lives go. Something along these lines, and just ends like that, nice and easy. So those are the main variants with that particular move. Um, yeah, you could consider it with the Kobayashi is a little different. Let's see. So with Kobayashi, you're gonna have this, and yeah, something along these lines, and then this and this, and oh, wait, it's this, and then it doesn't really need that, and then white goes something along these lines. Oh no, this is mini Chinese. This is mini Chinese. My and extension at K4. Right. Yeah. I'm still sleeping. Right. So yeah, and then white responds like so, and black has this. Yeah. So similar type of situation. If you already have, if you're playing Kobayashi and you already have the corner solidified like this, and white goes here, this can be a fine move for black, even if white goes like this, and we play out this exchange. Yeah, well, yeah. White has ladders, but assuming ladders, and this is the result, black can generally be pretty satisfied with what his wall is doing. He's not over concentrated. He has 5 spaces away from his corner, which is a pretty good distance for your powerful walls to be generally. It's a pretty big area for black. So yeah, black can be black could continue up here. Depends on what's going on, but yeah, black is satisfied enough with that kind of result. So oh no, no, I'll probably be on another 10 or 15 minutes. It depends on whatever you guys want to do. Yes, yeah, that will be on. Yeah, yeah, you'll say is a subject I've tried to. Oof. Ah, I hate when that happens. Mm. All right, so well, let's go over one more sequence. So, have you seen this one before? Really? Okay, so this one is a fairly common one, actually. When you move up in the Q rankings, especially, Q players, many, 1 to 5 Qs are very, very fond of Q13 as a move. And generally the only black response, well, not the only, but the most common black response is to attempt to cut white. And so white will usually resist, and black will resist, and then white will push here, pretty standard. And now black's next move is important. Black plays R14, which is a good shape move for him. Then white will take the corner and then push once, and then fix his shape. This defends against the cutting points. If white omits that move, bad things can happen. And now black goes here, and white's in a bit of a pickle. If white responds here, black just goes here, and white's not satisfied. If white attempts to defend himself, black can just go here, and then force white to fill like this, and then you know get himself to live out here, play a vital point, and it becomes difficult for white. Well, even this move is fairly good. White doesn't really have a great response. I mean, if white does this, you can just ruin his base. So that's a simpler way to play. But yeah, so the next move for the white finishing up his shape is very important, and then black will usually finish off the shape with either this or R10. And this is a good Joseki to know. Black takes some side, white takes the corner. M16 becomes a bit weak, but it's not horribly weak because later on in the game, black can still take this in Sente, depending on what's going on with black's top group, or he can take this move in Sente. Yeah. Oh no no. Well, white's already alive, so I say Sente is a relative term, I guess. Um, So White doesn't have to respond, I suppose. It's entirely possible that he doesn't, but if he doesn't, Black gets this move. And the problem with this move is that White not only can no longer disconnect Black, but Black is also threatening to capture those 2 stones to just make an incredibly powerful solid wall along this area. So White will live, of course, but Black's shape has essentially no flaws in it at all. If white goes to protect, black can protect as well, and white can keep the corner. But black just built this massive, perfect shaped wall all around. So yeah, Sente, of course, is relative. Doesn't have to, but if you don't, bad things could potentially happen. Hmm. Oh yes. Yep. How to be vicious, huh? Viciousness is a fun skill to have. Um, yeah, no, I'm not arguing. Any other particular Joseki you wanted to go over, or you want to call it a night, or what do you want?
Yeah.
No problem. I will see you around.